Welcome to this Google Basics tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about some of the applications that come with your Google account and some of the features and functions of those applications. So once you've established your Google account, and you can do that by just going to google.com/gmail and creating your account, you will have access to the full list of Google apps. The way that you find the Google Apps is through the App Launcher, so I'll show you how to access that. It's just how to access them. You get Gmail, you get access to Google Drive, which is cloud storage. You get access to Docs, Slides, and Sheets, which work similar to Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and we're going to practice sharing and collaborating using these apps, which is really what makes them very powerful. I'm going to show you how to create and share a Google Calendar, and we're also going to look at Google Forms. Google Forms are effective tools for gathering and analyzing information. So I'm just going to show you a sample of a Google Form, and it's very involved to create one, so that would be a whole separate tutorial. This is just a quick little overview. And the same for Sites and YouTube. You get access to Google Sites, which is a web development software, but it is very involved and would be a lot more detailed than what we're going to go over in this short introduction. And you also get a YouTube channel associated with your Gmail account. So once you have Gmail, you get access to all this great software. These apps are web-based. This means you can access them anytime, anywhere there is an internet connection. You can also set your preferences to allow you to access them offline. What's more, there's no need to save. Changes you make are automatically saved. Previous versions are stored in revision history, so you can always revert back if necessary. No more saving multiple versions. Now let's open a new tab so I can show you where to find the App Launcher. Okay, so right here in the upper right corner, we'll see our App Launcher. You can tell that I'm already signed in because there's my profile picture. So I click on the App Launcher, and this gives me a listing of all the apps that are available to me. So these are the most frequently used, but you can also see that if you scroll down, you get this option for more, and here is where Docs is, and Keep, Blogger, Books, all these different apps that are available to you. And if I want to click even more, that's going to obviously give me even more apps that I can choose from. And once your page loads, you just have to scroll down and you'll get a complete list of all the apps and basically samples of what they do here. So you can see I'm scrolling down, and now here's a list of all the products that are available to you. So we're not going to be going over all of these today, but you can see that once you have a Gmail account, you have access to all these great software applications. We're just going to start with Docs for right now so I can show you how to share documents and collaborate. So I'll go ahead and open a doc. This is fantastic when you're working on a group project or with a team. I'm just going to click Go to Google Docs, because all the edits that you make are done in real time. So you can see what somebody else is typing while they're typing it, and that person can also see what you're typing while you're typing it, and it's just all done in real time, and you don't have to save it. So it's great for collaborating. So I'll just go ahead and open a blank document. I can title it just Practice. Alright, so I've created a Google Doc. Now I want to share it. So the way that I do that is I go over here to the upper right corner, and you can see that when I hover over it right now, it says private only to me. Make sure you can see that. So I hover over it again, and it says private only to me, so that means that I'm the only one that can see it right now. But if I click here, I can type in the names or email addresses of the people that I want to share this with. So if you're in a school, all you really need to do is know the first and last name, because Google will have the domain names already available for you. Otherwise, you'll just need the email address that you can type in here. And then once you type the email address, you can select if you want this person to be able to edit the document, only view the document, or only view the document, or only comment on the document. So these are the choices that you have available to you when you share. If you click on Advanced, you can see that you've got some advanced options here. Again, this is private only to me, so I can change this. I can make it public on the web so anyone can find it. I can make it so that anyone with the link can find it, so that means it's not searchable on the web, but if I've shared the link with anyone, they'll be able to find it. And then I have some more options here in Advanced. I can, again, same thing, add the name or email address, and then decide how much I want to share this document. Set the permissions, and then here I can also add another layer of protection. I can prevent anyone that I have decided to make an editor from changing access and adding new people. So let's say that I want to share this with you, but I don't want you to share it with anyone else. I can just click here, and that will not allow anyone that I've added to allow more people. So that gives me a layer of control for my document. I could also disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers, so they can't really do much with my work other than look at it. So I really don't use this very often, because usually the work that you put out there, you don't mind if people are downloading it and printing it and making it their own. But if you want to prevent people from doing that and keep credit for your work, then you can go ahead and disable the option to allow them to download and print it, or change it and copy it. So right now I'll just keep it with prevent editors from changing access, but I'll go ahead and share this document with my school account. So let's go back up to that pencil here, and I'll share it with my school account, and I'm going to allow myself to have editing rights. And then it asks me if I want to send the notification, so I will agree to send it and go ahead and send. And now I've shared it with my school account. I can click done, and that's basically how you share the document. And that's the same for basically any of the apps like Slides and Sheets, but we'll go ahead and open them so that we can just run through it once with those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'll open a new tab, and I go back to my app launcher once my tab loads here, and now I look for Slides, which is the equivalent, the Google equivalent of PowerPoint. So if I don't see it in my Even More, I can click on Even More and get the full listing. But a shortcut that I like to use is I just go up to the URL bar, and when you're searching for a Google app, you always type in the name of the app first, .google.com, and that'll bring you to it. So I'm looking for Slides right now, so I'm going to say slides.google.com, and that'll bring me to Slides. If I wanted to access Drive or Sheets or Forms, instead of typing Slides here, I would just type Sheets, Forms, or Docs, or whatever it is that I'm trying to access. So that's a little keyboard shortcut, and I'll go ahead and access Slides. And so it brings me to my list of options here, and some books that slides that I've put together before. So I'll just go ahead and click on blank. And then, same deal here. We just go over to share once it loads, and then it will give me the option to add people. Now, with your presentations, a lot of times what I do is I like to add these to my websites that I make. So if I'm going to, So if I'm going to make this public and I want it on my website so everyone can see it, I have to remember that I need to make this a public file. So the way that I do that is by going to the advanced settings, click change, and make it public on the web. So this way people who are accessing my website can also see this slide presentations that I want to upload, and then I just say anyone can view it. So then I can click save, and then this makes it public. I will just hit cancel here so I can go back to the same and just show you again. Here you would just invite people and you have the same exact options. So that's basically how you share with slides. Same way you do it with docs. But again, if you're planning to embed your presentation in a website, you want to make sure that you change this to make it public. Otherwise, people who visit your website are not going to be able to see any slideshows that you embed there. So I'll go ahead and click done, and we're done with that. And finally, we're going to access Sheets, which is the Google equivalent of Excel. So we see if it's here, and it's not here. So I'll just go up to my bar. Actually, this time I'll use the even more function so we can find it there. And then I'm just going to scroll down past all these great ads all the way down until it gives me the full listing of apps, which are listed in alphabetical order. And here I go. Here's Sheets. So I click Sheets. And same deal. So I can choose to make a new blank sheet. And once I do that, I share it in the same exact way that I did before with my other two applications. So we don't need to go through that again. I'm just going to go ahead and close these out, and now I'm going to show you an example of a Google form. Close that one, and I'm going to open my Google Drive, which that's one again you can access from the app launcher. So if I click here and I select Drive, that would bring me straight to my cloud storage. So Google gives you access to this cloud storage here, which is also free. So here I am in my Drive, which works the same way as your local storage. It's set up with files and folders. When someone shares documents with you, they appear in this Shared with Me link here, or folder here. And then I've got files created here, and then you can see my list of, so I've got my folders up here, and I've got my list of files down here. So right now we're just going to go ahead and open the Google Basics. And we will open this training feedback form, which I have not used yet. I just created it really as a sample. So here's my training feedback. Tell me what you think. I ask for the name, which I make short answer, but if I give you this drop down arrow, you can see here all the different options that I could ask this question in. So then I will scroll down, and I've asked for a rating scale here. So anybody filling this out can just say on a 1 to 10, they can give me a rating. I can also embed videos here. I can say watch this video and ask questions about the video. So Forms is a really powerful data collection tool. And then once you have the form ready and you send it out for responses, the responses are all collected here. And then it also gives you an option to link the responses to a spreadsheet. So it goes straight to Sheets. So I'll go ahead and click this here. And you can see if I was collecting feedback, this is where it would all land in a nice spreadsheet form. It really makes it easy to organize and evaluate any data that you are collecting. So I just wanted to show you what's possible with forms, but if we were going to actually create one and go through the process of setting up that spreadsheet, that is a whole other tutorial that is coming your way soon. For now, I'm going to close my forms, And I'm going to open Calendar so I can show you how that works as well. Let's see if it pops up here in our app launcher, and it does. So now we'll go ahead and click Calendar. So you can see here my list of calendars. Be able to see what other people's schedules are. You want people to be able to add events on the same calendar, so you can set them all up in a Google Calendar. So the way to do that is to go here to My Calendars, and you go to the drop down arrow and it says create new calendar, so you want to create the new calendar here, and we'll call this one, just call it practice. So we're going to call it practice, and right when I create the calendar here, I can go ahead and add the names of the people that I want to share it with. So I'll just go ahead and share this with my work account as well. And here is where we set the permissions. I want to allow myself to not just see all the events, but to make changes to the events. So I'll go ahead and maybe I even want to allow myself to manage sharing. So this means that from my school account, I'll be able to add other people. So here are the level of permissions. So if you want to add someone and allow them to add others, you can allow them to make changes and manage sharing. If you want to add someone, but you don't want them to add others and just want them to be able to add events on the calendar, you would select the second one. The third option, to see all event details, this would only allow them to view it. And this would only allow them to see if you were free or busy, but not be able to see the event details. So there's all these different levels of permission that you can set. I'll just go ahead and give my other account full permission. And then I can click on Create Calendar. And that's it. Here's my practice calendar. And they're color-coded. Oh, look, see, I must have made 2 practice calendars. But they're color-coded, so obviously I would want to rename one of these just to make it easier and make sure that I'm writing in the correct calendar. But they're all color-coded, which is an extra benefit when you're trying to make sure that you're putting things in the right place. And then you can add events right from here. So I select the calendar that I want to add an event in, and I can go to this drop down here. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Go to this drop down here, and then I say create event on this calendar. And I add all the details, click Save, and it will appear in my calendar. So that's basically how you create a calendar and share it with your Google Calendar. So that pretty much concludes our Google Basics training. I hope that you will visit this channel again